SANDHAN, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Good evening, friends. My name Dr. Neepa Vyas. I am from Sir Elisha Law College, Ahmedabad. Here today I will discuss a topic of environmental law under which judicial activism for environment protection. This is the topic which I will be dealt with. Now friends, as this is a topic of environment protection, I would like to show you the definition of environment. When we are discussing about the protection of something, that something must be clear what is the meaning of environment. Dear friends, in layman language, environment includes trees, plants, air, water, forest, etc. But this is not sufficient when you are discussing the topic under the heading of law. Law always expects perfection. So, here in Environment Pollution Act, under section 2, the definition of environment is given, which says that I am reading it very slowly for you so that you can able to hear it. As per the slide, clause 2 of the subclause A states that environment includes water, air and land, and the interrelationship with which exists among and between water, air, land, and one more feature is added: human beings, other living creatures, plants, microorganism and property. So clearly the definition of this section 2 small a says that environment includes not only air, water, land, but it also includes the interrelationship with air with water, water with air, the relationship with land and human creatures. These are the relationship includes the environment, not only air, not only water, not only land, but the interrelationship is also covered under the heading of environment. So this definition makes it clear that not only the land, water, air, human beings are covered, but their interrelationship is also covered as environment. Why so? The reason is this whole environment is, if you think properly with the sense, is used by us. Us means the human beings. So we are using air, we are using water, we are using land. This use is called the relationship with each other, as the section prescribes interrelationship. So this is the meaning of environment. So when this interrelationship is disturbed, it causes the pollution. So what pollutes the environment? The pollutant pollutes environment. This pollutant is known as the environment pollution. This environment pollution is also prescribed under section 2 clause C, that if the presence of environment pollutant is found in such environment, it is called environment pollution. If we are misusing this relationship, there must be some authority to control this misuse. This authority is the courts of the nation. This authority is the apex court, which means the Supreme Court of India. This authority is the high courts of very different states and other authorities as established by the Indian Constitution. Now, dear friend, being a student of law, it is aware that the supreme law of the land is our Indian Constitution. This Indian Constitution gives us power in terms of rights, make us liable in terms of obligations or the duty. These provisions are also prescribed or covered by Indian Constitution to protect the environment. To enlarge these rights and duties, Supreme Court has expanded the meaning of some fundamental rights up to the protection of environment. How constitutional provision is applicable here? For that, there are three main articles covered by Indian Constitution, namely Article 21, which says about right to life, Article 48 capital A, and separately under Chapter 4A, Article 51 capital A G prescribes the fundamental duties. Now, I would like to first discuss one international covenant named as Stockholm Declaration. Dear friend, in the month of June 1972, when Mrs. Indira Gandhi was our Prime Minister, she attended this international covenant, and she also rendered the opening speech in this international covenant, whereby India was one of the signatory country of Stockholm Declaration. The Stockholm Declaration was the first declaration which speaks about the human environment. As India was one of the ratifying country, and at the same time our Indian Constitution prescribes by way of Article 253 the international obligation on state to enact a law to make applicable these international treaties, covenants, agreements, conventions, etc. Due to this particular legal provision of Article 253, and with relation to Stockholm Declaration, our Parliament passed the 42nd Amendment Act in the year of 1976, whereby two new articles were inserted, namely Article 48A, which is covered under the part of Directive Principles of State Policy. So, by this kind of insertion through 42nd Amendment, the state's obligation was created to protect the environment. At the same time, by insertion of Chapter 4 capital A as the fundamental duties, the obligation was extended to each citizens to protect the natural sources, to protect the environment. With this reference, I would like to discuss further. For that, I have prepared a chart that in the year of 1972, Stockholm Declaration was there, whereby we ratified the declaration, due to which 42nd Constitutional Amendment came into force in the year of 1976. See, it took 4 years to make applicable the provision of Stockholm Declaration, and by that amendment we have two new articles as Article 48A and Chapter 4A. Now, let us discuss the original provision of Article 21. This Article 21 provides that no person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except according to procedure established by law. Without due procedure established by law, no one can be deprived of his life and personal liberty. Dear friend, this concept was elaborated and expanded by Supreme Court in various cases. As in this provision of Article 21, what is the meaning of life is not clear. What is the meaning of personal liberty is not discussed. So, it is left for the interpretation to the various courts. Court has interpreted the phrase right to life in a manner that right to life includes right to live with full enjoyment. Right to live with full enjoyment includes right to live in pollution-free environment. You just imagine that the surrounding of you is immense polluted environment. You cannot even see what is there just before 10 feet from you. The pollution is in such a manner you will not able to see the 10 feet distance object even. Then how will you enjoy your life there? For example, if you have went to visit the Himalayan range, whereby due to the clouds you couldn't see the snow-capped mountain, you will slightly disappointed because you have gone so far to see the Himalaya, but you could not able to see the Himalayan range. The same, you have not enjoyed your tour to Himalaya. In the same manner, if life is not made easy, life is not made available to the environment without this pollution, the main object of Article 21 is not fulfilled. So, the meaning of this Article 21 is expanded up to right to life includes right to live with enjoyment. Right to live with enjoyment includes right to live in a pollution-free environment. In the next provision of this Constitution of India, whereby Article 48 capital A prescribes the state shall endeavour to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard the forest and wildlife of the country. It is the duty of a state to protect as well as to improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife of the country. So, it is the duty of a state to protect and to provide safeguards to environment, and specifically it is provided that the safeguard should be provided to the wildlife and the forests of the country. So, in this manner, it is the state obligation is created by inserting Article 48 capital A. And the third provision of Indian Constitution is included under Chapter 4 capital A by way of Article 51 capital A clause G. This article, as is contained under the fundamental duties chapter, it is the duty of each citizen to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. This fundamental duty is on the shoulder of each citizen of the country to protect the environment, natural resources, wildlife, and the forest of the state. So it is on the shoulder of us, we the citizen of India. We should protect, we should try to improve the quality of the natural resources. Instead of that, what we are using, we are misusing these natural resources and make that resources polluted. So if you imagine, if we will continue to destruct the environment in this speed, I don't think that after the year 2050 the next generation will get the pollution free environment, or whether there will be an environment or not. So it is our duty to safeguard, to protect, to improve these natural resources by way of environment protection. For protection of environment, we have Water Pollution and Prevention Act 1972. We have Air Pollution Control Act. We have Forest Conservation Act. We have Wildlife Protection Act. We have Environment Protection Act. The series is so long that the legislature is trying to safeguard these by this way the environment by enacting various laws for us. But I don't know, somehow the effect of these laws are having some loopholes, so that we still, and the pollution is still going